basically were in 8 main areas. The first had to do with education, which we see collaboration between colleges of higher education, particularly newly established universities of applied sciences and technical universities in Ghana and those in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. The second had to do with healthcare, which will see collaboration in a clinic initiative and the provision of funding for health projects run by civil society organizations in Ghana. And the third one had to do with the mutual exchange with respect to entrepreneurship and startup support. The fourth had to do with the protection of resources and sustainable business practices. The fifth had to do with diaspora organizations with respect to our local councils, i.e. our MMDAs. And last but not least, with respect to the German Development Agency, that's the GIZ. Whilst in Berlin, the President held a number of meetings with key stakeholders, prominent amongst them being the President of the European Commission, that's President Ursula von der Leyen. He held a meeting with also the members of the German Africa Foundation in the German Parliament, and also executives from the Siemens Group. As we all know, the Siemens Group is key with respect to the Compact of Africa initiative, specifically with respect to projects that are going on in Ghana. He also held bilateral discussions with the German Chancellor with respect to vaccines, with respect to the acquisition of naval patrol boats for the Ghana Navy, and also basically matters to do with strengthening the bonds of cooperation and the ties of friendship between Ghana and Germany. And lastly, he also participated in the G20 Compact with Africa program. He made it clear at the meeting that the Compact initiative has had a tremendous impact on Ghana with respect to certain things we've been trying to do, and with respect to our key initiative of becoming Africa's investment hub. He made it clear that, for example, as a result of the Compact program, we've been able to establish the Volkswagen vehicle assembly plant. Currently, memorandums of understandings have been signed with a German company called Voith Hydro Holding for the supply of technologies for the construction of a hybrid solar hydro power plant attached to the Bui Dam, and also the signing of an MOU with Robert Bosch Packaging for the supply of technologies for the construction of a vaccine factory, and also for the establishment of the Development Bank of Ghana, which, as you all know, is a key plank of our nation's agenda towards economic recovery from the ravages of COVID-19. Also on the tour with the President was the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Herbert Krapper, who on behalf of Ghana signed 2 declaration agreements with his counterparts from the Federal Republic of Germany. The first had to do with the institutional partnership between the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy of Germany and the Ministry of Trade and Industry of Ghana. The main aim of this first declaration is to help improve standards of public test laboratories in the fields of construction materials and chemicals, and also to ensure fair competition in the construction materials and construction chemicals market. The second had to do with an institutional partnership for promotion of anti-dumping, anti-subsidy, and safeguard rules. Now, as the Deputy Director of Communications rightly put it, the President returned last night, and already he has been engaged in a number of activities so far. God willing, tomorrow he's going to cut the sword for the commencement of construction of sporting facilities at Borteman for the 13th African Games. As you know, Ghana has been awarded the rights to host these particular games, and the construction of facilities will begin in earnest. And from Friday, the 3rd of September to Monday, the 6th of September, he will embark on a 4-day working visit of the Western and Western North regions as part of his annual ritual of visiting every region to see for himself what is going on with respect to the execution of government's agenda. He will, amongst others, pay courtesy calls on traditional rulers. He will cut the source for commencement of work. He will inspect work on ongoing projects as well as commission projects that have been completed. As we have been doing in the course of the tour, the general public will be kept up to speed with respect to everything that's happening. Immediately after the President is done with the tour of the Western and Western North regions, he will proceed to the Volta and Oti regions. And the dates for these 2 regions will be communicated in due course. I'll now allow myself to take your questions.
Thank you very much, Director. I have two questions. I mean, you brought the Siemens issue up, and I have a question, and then on Pfizer. Now, last week Friday, we were at a program where we were told that government is facilitating discussions between some of the vaccine producers and some of our local pharmaceutical companies. The idea is to have what they describe as copying the, for want of a better word, intellectual property that went into the production of the vaccines, so that our pharmaceutical companies here in Ghana can have the method to do local production. And that government is facilitating this discussion because of copyright issues and all that. I want to find out whether there's progress on it and when likely that will happen, and if there are also financial implications that become as a result of this. Also on Pfizer, the meeting that the president held, did it result in, the coming into the country of some of the vaccines to help with our vaccination drive? And then finally, on the Siemens and the Greatco issue, as part of the compact, we're told that Parliament approved about 250 million euros for the expansion of our transmission lines, especially in the Middle Belt. Now, at the swearing in of the board of Greatco, the energy minister was not happy that contractual differences has stalled the projects, and Siemens was not happy with the development. I don't know whether this came up and what is the way forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Elton. With respect to vaccine production in Ghana, it was one of the major discussions that ensued at the compact. Initially, there was supposed to be a meeting specifically between representatives of Pfizer and President Akufo-Addo, but unfortunately he was not the only one who was requesting such a meeting, so the format changed a bit. The German Chancellor urged the company to come and do a presentation before the heads of state were present and at least outline their plans for specifically how best African nations can access vaccines with respect to helping to eliminate COVID-19. On our part, President Akufo-Addo went a step further by letting them know of the plans government has put in place with respect to establishing a national vaccine institute, which would help us in the long term develop our own vaccines with respect to combating some of these pandemics. It was a suggestion that was taken on board by the representatives of Pfizer, to the extent that the president has subsequently instructed the Minister for Health to engage his counterparts, because they were extremely excited by the prospect of Ghana having her own, let's say, vaccine manufacturing plant, and also whatever steps they can also contribute towards the rapid realization of this particular institute was something they were really ready to do. So that answers that particular aspect. With respect to the Siemens Greatco issue, yes, it's a matter that came up. The president obviously expressed his dissatisfaction with certain aspects of what is going on, but to be able to give you a full, in-depth answer on that, I would want to defer that to the Minister for Energy. He'll be in a much better position as compared to what I will be in answering that question.
I have two questions. Sami Yafe. Whilst in Germany, we saw videos on social media of the president being accosted by some group of persons perceived to be Ghanaians, chanting, fix the nation, and the likes. What was the president's reaction to that? And secondly, before you left, our first press briefing, many people were thinking that it was going to be the announcement of the MMDAs, which has been in the news for a while now. There's a member of parliament who has gone to court seeking an interpretation of the constitution. How come these people are still acting even though he thinks their tenure has ended. Now that the president is back, are we going to see the list come so we put all this matter to rest?
Let me start from the second question. MMDCs, as I indicated at the first briefing, as you rightly said, this is a matter that has probably caught the attention of the nation. I indicated that as things stand now, there's no vacuum at the MMDA level because the president has asked the incumbents, let me use that word, incumbent MMDCs to still stay in office. With respect to the suit, I mean, all I can say is that, I mean, we are in a democracy. I mean, we have separation of powers. If you believe you have grievances with respect to certain actions that have been taken by somebody or with respect to certain actions that have been taken by the president, you have an avenue to ventilate those grievances. And the matter is in court, so let me say we'll just leave it in court. But as I indicated the last time, the report by the National Committee, which did the final vetting, which was chaired by the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Honorable Dambutri, that report is with the president. The president continues to look at it. It's not a simple matter as somebody might want, because eventually he's selecting his representatives at the districts, municipal and metropolitan level. So careful consideration has to be taken with respect to who becomes an MC or a DC. So soon, all I can say is soon the list will come out. I'm not in a position to give timelines as to whether in a week or in 2 weeks. No, I'm not in that position because work is still ongoing, and immediately the president settles on his nominees for the various municipal, district and metropolitan levels, as we have always been doing. The nation will be kept apprised of it. But with respect to the matter in court, all I'll say is the matter is in court. We'll just leave it at that. One other matter with respect to this that was also raised by, I think, the MP for Dodo had to do with the fact that he believes the president is under pressure from certain interest groups, and that is why he has delayed in naming his MMDCs. I mean, that's far from the truth. All of us who know and have had the opportunity of working with President Akufo-Addo would know that he's not somebody you can put pressure on to be able to do your bidding. At the end of the day, whatever he does it first and foremost with respect to the interest of Mother Ghana, and also secondly, his own belief in the capacity and ability of the person to be able to hold that particular office. So you can't put pressure on the president to do your bidding. I mean, that's not so. If that's what he believes, well, I leave it to his own belief. But certainly that's not the case. As I said, immediately the president is done studying the report. Immediately he's done at least satisfying himself with the various nominees for the various MMDAs. Definitely, the entire country will be kept in the know. With respect to some persons who accosted the president, I mean, I think it happened in Düsseldorf. I think there were 4 people, and according to our checks, 2 of them were Nigerians. So, I mean, by and large, as I said again, he's somebody who tolerates divergent opinions. The purpose for him going to Germany was basically, if I'm to use that word, to help fix the country, in quotes, if I'm to use that word. Everything, as I've indicated, the benefits of the compact program, the agreements that were signed between Ghana and the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, everything points to the fact that his trip was to go to Germany basically to seek the progress and prosperity of our nation. Nothing more, nothing less. And that is what he continues to do. That's what he will do until the end of his tenure on the 7th of January 2025. That I can assure you.
My name is Gilbert Anim. I want to find out about our borders. Our land borders are still closed. Somewhere in the Volta region, somewhere last week, I saw people protesting for the reopening of the borders. I would like to find out from you, when are the borders going to be opened? And if the borders are opened, what measures are being put in place to ensure that it does not spike the COVID cases in the country?
Yeah, the demonstration that took place in the Volta region was one obviously that was brought to the attention of the president. I mean, he understands the difficulties people have had to go through, the restrictions that have been imposed on our lives and our livelihoods. I mean, all of this basically has been to try and find a solution to the pandemic, bring an end to the pandemic. Closure of our borders, it wasn't an easy decision for the president to take. I mean, this decision literally has been replicated by most of our neighboring countries within the West African region. Basically, everybody's trying to get a grip of the pandemic. Just as all other decisions with respect to the imposition of restrictions are taken normally by the COVID-19 task force, which he chairs. I mean, I believe if there's the need for them to review whatever aspects of the restrictions, I believe they'll make it known, and duly when he addresses the nation, he will make it known. It's not a decision he can take lightly on his own. There are several things that have to be put in place before such a decision can be taken. You remember when the decision was taken to reopen our international airports, we had to put in place certain measures, put in place a testing regime. I mean, a lot of things went into place before that was taken, and that was also taken under the auspices of the COVID-19 task force. So we'll just have to wait. Once that meeting takes place, I'm sure in the course of the week it'll take place. I'm sure one of the issues that would be addressed, and if need be, if the president himself has to come out and say something with respect to that particular aspect, i.e. the border closures, the land border closures, I'm sure he'll do that. If he has to delegate it through the Minister for the Interior, I'm sure definitely he will do that. But as it stands now, all the restrictions as announced in update 26 are still in force. Our land borders continue to be closed. And if there's an update with respect to certain changes that have been made with respect to all those restrictions, the president will make it aware, or he'll make it known to the entire country.
Okay, thank you. My name is Max Solfrey. I want to ask two questions from Germany. One has to do with the agreements that were signed. You mentioned there was going to be a construction of hydro plants. Do we know the timelines when the construction will start and how much will be involved? And then secondly, we understand the outgoing Chancellor, Angela, is promising some $70 million doses of COVID vaccines to Africa. If we can know how much of that money is coming to Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxwell. As I indicated in my statement, I made it clear that what has currently been done with respect to the establishment of the hybrid solar plant attached to the Bui Dam is an MOU that has been signed. I believe final and firmer details will be made known when the agreement is put before the Ghanaian people, basically through Parliament. So we'll just have to wait on that, and I'm sure once that comes up, details with respect to the costing, the time completion schedules, all of that will be made known. With respect to the vaccines, yes, the German Chancellor has made it known that at least Germany will be helping Africa with 70 million vaccines. The president, as I said, had a bilateral meeting with the German Chancellor before the holding of the plenary at the compact level. I mean, one of the things that came out, as I indicated, had to do with the vaccines. The German Chancellor, I'm happy to inform the Ghanaian people, made it known to the president that a total of 1.2 million vaccines were to be given to Ghana. Basically, the AstraZeneca vaccines, 1.2 million. A few hours ago, I just got confirmation from the president that, this has increased from 1.2 million to 1.5 million. And steps have already been taken In fact, according to the president, he's dispatching a plane immediately to go to Germany to take delivery of the 1.5 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. I think in the course of last week, Friday, if I'm not mistaken, the presidential advisor on health made it known that at least the American government has also given the country 1.5 million doses of the Moderna vaccine. I mean, all in all, I think we should be hitting around 5 million vaccine doses so far, and I believe at this particular stage, I think it's a good initiative that has been undertaken by the government of President Akufo-Addo towards helping to rid our country of COVID-19, and hopefully his pledge of ensuring that 20 million Ghanaians by the end of this year are vaccinated, slowly but surely, I believe we are on course to realizing that particular pledge of ensuring that the entire adult population of Ghana is vaccinated. So yes, 1.5 million vaccine doses from Germany is on its way to Ghana. Thank you very much. So if that's all, I'll just take my leave, and thank you once again for your presence. Jefferson.
Director of Communication, thank you so much. With this schedule of the President, especially in the coming week, I'm sure it's going to be a very Herculean task for all of you to follow up and chase up. Let's also remember that the President continues to be the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States. That is to say that in terms of negotiating with other leaders and ensuring the peace and security in the sub-region is still secured, whether be it peace in Mali or security situation in any of these countries. We want to say a very big thank you for coming. I'm sure the same time next week on Monday, we'll be gathering here again for the Jubilee House press briefing. Thank you very much.